You speak about demographic potential that we have. The big criticism is that India is growing without creating enough jobs. Explain this to me.
So this is actually not true. The best data that we have on job creation is in fact the PLFS. Okay. Anybody else who is talking about is just giving anecdotal data. Oh, I have an uncle who has a son whose friend cannot find a job kind of data. Real data is PLFS. PLFS clearly suggests that there is growth in employment. There are other indicators as well, EPFO, etc. But PLFS is the best. But even the other ones also suggest. And the other simple one is just you go and talk to large companies and see, is it the case that they are able to hire easily at certain price points? And all of them will tell you that they are having to push up their wages, which tells you that the wage market must be, certainly not weakening. If anything, it is tightening. And certainly, I think that is a fair thing because we also have done consumption-driven surveys in recent years. And my colleague Shamika Ravi has written a paper on this recently. Yeah, and you can clearly see that, the number of Indians who have got all kinds of things from fridges to, some sort of a scooter or car, etc. has dramatically gone up in percentage terms. So the number of households in India who have, using cell phones or various kinds of electronics or refrigerator and so on has dramatically gone up. And this is this is not just basic stuff. Like even a decade and a half ago, most Indians did not even have a toilet. And we now have a situation where most Indians actually, almost all Indians have a toilet at home. And in addition to that, have now got all these other
access to potable water, those kind of things.
Things are getting done. Yeah. So to say that this is happening without any job creation is absolutely not a reflection of reality.
It's not any job creation, but we need to create 80,000 jobs a day or something like that, and several lakh jobs a month.
So you have to be a little careful with those statistics.
Yeah,
but it is a large number. Because do remember there are people retiring, passing away and so on. So some natural job creation anyway happens. But we are a high growth country and there is no example in history of any country growing for a long period of time and not generating jobs. This idea of jobless growth is an utterly fictitious idea.
Every country is fighting this. Whether it is the developed economies of the West or if it is struggling economies in Africa, everybody is struggling with trying to find solution to the jobless growth problem.
I am objecting to this idea. There is no such thing as jobless growth. All technology leads to a churn. Okay? So, for example, when you created the internet and so on, certain kinds of jobs got wiped out. But jobs like podcasters popped up. Who would have thought that social media influencer or podcaster would be a job profile?
True.
Who thought that Zomato or ordering online would be a job profile? But these exist. So every technology will destroy some jobs. But the history of technology since the Industrial Revolution every time has created more jobs than it has destroyed. So far, it has not happened. Maybe something will change, but there is no evidence yet of more jobs not being created through these cycles.
Okay.
And so this is being true also here. We are creating enormous numbers of new jobs. Some of them are high quality jobs. After all, almost every large company in the world now has a GCC in India. Those are all jobs.
Yeah.
Right?
Who is it who just now said that whatever technology comes, plumbers will not be out of job in this country or in the world?
No. So this is the sort of thing Nassim Taleb says.
Yeah.
But the point is, yes, that is a high skill activity in a certain sense.
Yeah. But I'm coming to skill development, basically that.
Yeah. So the point is
to give respect to skill development in this country is again a big thing. BA karna hai, MA karna hai, PhD karna hai. This is the middle class India has grown up with.
Not just middle class India. This has been true for the 20th century. By the way, till the 20th century, people going to university as a routine basis was a very rare thing. It was an elite activity. In fact, it was not even a signal of education, but of wealth to go to university. So, what happens in the 20th century is that there's massification of university education. This is a 20th century phenomena. Now what you're seeing is technology is making the lecture-based university irrelevant, right? Because artificial intelligence is vastly superior at giving you lectures, even answering your questions. So now tertiary education has to be completely rethought. And that does not mean that there are no jobs. This is a problem for the skilling system. In fact, we now need to see a collapse between the idea of skilling and tertiary education.
Okay.
Earlier, skilling was seen as something that plumbers did, and tertiary education was where all the hi-fi people went and they did some great philosophical upgradation of intellectual upgradation. But we are just going to discover that that is going to collapse because you are going to see a situation where I can learn pretty much if anything about any subject online and get reasonably good at it. I can have random economists becoming ship
We
designers.
saw the disruption happening even when we were in university. The coaching centers which were coming about.
Yes.
That disruption had begun.
Yes. So, for
25
example,
years ago.
NIIT
Yeah.
did more for creating Indian software sector than all the other degree walas combined.
It was just about beginning. I remember when we were getting into college and all that, if you didn't get into IIT, then you get into REC. If you don't get into REC, then you got into NIIT. And then it became
the NIIT people were doing it on the side. I mean, many people may be doing an English degree and doing NIIT in the evenings.
On the side, but then slowly,
So this will become the standard because at any age you can learn you will need to learn new skills all the time. The current system is what? You go to university till age 25.
This is the reform that you are thinking was going to happen.
Well, this is going to happen whether I reform my system or not. Okay. So what used to be the case that till 25 you got some education, but because knowledge is stable and technology is relatively speaking in the context of a lifetime of a person, over 30 years is relatively stable. You have, therefore, that education takes you through. Okay? And so, today what will happen is in a high changing environment, the guys in their 50s who are now in their positions of power are the most outdated guys in the system taking decisions. So, this whole education system is gone, right?
You have been posting a lot, writing a lot about the UPSC. And this obsession, national obsession to take the UPSC.
Yes, it's a complete waste of time because frankly...
You and I are products of that in the sense that our
parents were and it may have been a great idea in the 1960s, but times have changed. I mean, being a stenographer may have been a good option for somebody in the 1940s. So what? So technology has changed and it is not just changed, it is now become a routine affair. Every few months your phone is getting upgraded and is able to do something new. Now I cannot have a curriculum that can keep up with it in the way that university education currently functions. Upgrading my entire professor faculty in that way is very difficult to do. So AI will just be vastly superior at delivering cutting edge knowledge. Now that doesn't mean that universities have nothing to do. They're just that doing it the way they're doing it today is a waste of time. So what you need to do is to much more oriented toward apprenticeships and actual skills because the industry is ahead of academia.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to get people into into jobs early. In fact, there are people like Elon Musk or Vembu here in India who, and I subscribe with it, that you should actually think that at 18 people find jobs. And they go to work and they do degrees on the side. And, immediately somebody will say, oh, but what about the social aspects of going to university? Well, guess what? Till the 20th century, people didn't have social lives. In fact, even today, the bulk of human beings don't go to university. Don't they have social lives?
I just felt I was wasting my time in college. I was getting the education, but there were 5 to 6 hours where I was doing nothing and I felt like...
Well, I hardly ever attended the class, so I enjoyed university, but it had nothing to do with attending class and imbibing.
Yeah, so you can do so much more because today technology.
Yeah, so I would have thought if systems allowed me then, I would have preferred to be at work at 18.
Yeah.
And do my classes online and take exams. And yes, you can for practicals. For example, if you want to learn surgery, you still have to go and learn it.
Yeah, correct.
Or whatever. For those kinds of things, you have classes.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा।
The issue is टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है।
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल दें?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब।
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप।
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI, it does not lie.